Hello everyone. This video is about a very important but often confusing medical topic, which is ABG or arterial blood gas interpretation. This video is part 1 of 2 video series. I hope that after watching these videos, you will clearly understand the concept of arterial blood gas and interpretation of ABG results. If you are new to my channel, I am Dr. Raja, working in Salford, United Kingdom. I regularly upload educational videos to help doctors who are preparing for PLAB 1 or PLAB 2 exam. Please subscribe to my channel to get regular useful tips for your medical studies and your exams. Let's get started. When we do arterial blood gas analysis, there are 5 key components which we have to look for. These components are pH, PaCO2, which is partial pressure of carbon dioxide in arterial blood. Third one is bicarbonate. Then we see for base excess. And the fifth component is PaO2 or partial pressure of oxygen in arterial blood. Now coming to details of these components. First, I am going to discuss blood pH. Normal blood pH is 7.35 to 7.45. This is a normal range. And pH of the blood is determined by the concentration of hydrogen ions. When hydrogen ions increase, then blood pH decreases. That is, blood becomes more acidic. And when concentration of hydrogen ions decreases, pH goes up, which means it becomes more alkaline. A pH which is less than 7.35 is called acidemia, which means blood is more acidic. And a pH of more than 7.45 is called alkalemia, or the blood is more alkaline. Coming to next component, which is partial pressure of carbon dioxide in arterial blood. To understand this, we should know that carbon dioxide is a waste product of metabolism. In plasma, it reacts with water to form hydrogen ions and bicarbonate. Carbon dioxide behaves as an acid as it results in the production of hydrogen ions. The key determinant of partial pressure of carbon dioxide in arterial blood is alveolar ventilation, which means that in hypoventilation states, plasma carbon dioxide concentration goes up, and thus hydrogen ion production is increased, and it leads to fall in pH, which means blood becomes more acidic. And in hyperventilation states, plasma carbon dioxide concentration falls, and it results in fall in production of hydrogen ions, and thus the pH goes up, that is, blood becomes more alkaline. The normal PaCO2 is 5.3 kPa, and the range is between 4.7 to 6 kPa. Third component is bicarbonate. It is called a base, which is the opposite of an acid. It is generated by the kidneys. When bicarbonate buffers hydrogen ions, as a result, carbon dioxide and water are produced. It is by this route that the vast majority of acids are excreted each day. Acids not eliminated by the respiratory system or lungs can also be buffered. In the kidneys, hydrogen ions are excreted and bicarbonate is filtered and returned to the plasma. The normal concentration of bicarbonate in blood is 22 to 26 millimole per liter. Now coming to base excess. Base excess is calculated as the amount of strong acid or base that would have to be added to a blood sample with an abnormal pH to restore it back to normal. So the amount of strong acid or base that would have to be added to a blood sample with an abnormal pH to restore it to normal pH, which is 7.4. The normal values of base excess are between +2 to -2 millimole per liter. A base excess that is more negative than -2 millimole per liter is called negative base excess. And if pH is less than 7.35, a negative base excess indicates a metabolic acidosis. A base excess which is greater than +2 millimole per liter is positive base excess, and a pH more than 7.45 with this greater than +2 millimole or positive base excess indicates a metabolic alkalosis. The last component for ABG analysis is PaO2. PaO2 is the partial pressure of oxygen in arterial blood and is always lower than the alveolar partial pressure of oxygen. In a healthy individual breathing air, the PaO2 is normally more than 11 kPa, and it is about 10 kPa lower than the inspired partial pressure. When assessing PaO2, as a rule of thumb, it should be numerically 10 less than the inspired concentration. For example, 40% inspired oxygen should result in a PaO2 of approximately 30 kPa. Remember that lung injury due to any cause increases the gap between inspired concentration and PaO2. For someone breathing 50% oxygen, a PaO2 of 13 kPa is not considered normal. Now coming to the topic of analyzing arterial blood gas results. There is 5-step approach. There are 5 things which we have to consider when analyzing arterial blood gas results. First and the most important is that check how is the patient. Second one is assess oxygenation or PaO2. Third is determine the pH. Fourth step is determine the PaCO2, that is the respiratory component of acid-base balance. And the fifth step is determine the bicarbonate and base excess or the metabolic component of acid-base balance. Coming to step 1, that is assessing how is the patient. Before analyzing arterial blood gas results, it is important that you have some assessment of the patient. You can do it by A, B, C, D, E. When interpreting acid-base status, it is important always to take the clinical context into account. It will provide useful clues to help with interpretation of the results. For example, if presented with ABG results showing a normal pH, low PaCO2 and low bicarbonate, and the patient is diabetic with high level of ketones in urine, the most likely primary disorder is metabolic acidosis because of diabetic ketoacidosis rather than respiratory alkalosis. So by this example, you can understand that before interpreting the actual arterial blood gas results, you need to know the condition of the patient and clinical information, or you need to consider the clinical context. Next step is assess oxygenation or check PaO2 and decide is the patient hypoxemic. The PaO2 should be more than 10 kPa at breathing air and about 10 kPa less than that of inspired concentration. For example, if the inspired concentration or FiO2 is 30%, PaO2 should be 30 minus 10 equal to 20 kPa. Third step is determine the pH of the patient. If the pH is less than 7.35, patient is acidemic. And if the pH is more than 7.45, patient is alkalemic. If the pH is between 7.35 to 7.45, patient has a normal pH. Absolute normal pH is 7.4. But you need to remember that if the pH is between 7.35 and 7.40, it can be a fully compensated acidosis. So you need to check other parameters. For example, PaCO2 and SCO3 carefully, whether they are normal or deranged. And if the pH is between 7.4 to 7.45, although it is within normal range, but it can be due to a fully compensated alkalosis. So again, check other parameters, PaCO2 and bicarbonate carefully to see whether these are normal or deranged. Step 4 is determine the respiratory component or the PaCO2. If the pH is less than 3.75 and the PaCO2 is above 6 kPa, this is respiratory acidosis, because we have discussed when carbon dioxide in plasma or arterial blood increases, it produces hydrogen ions which lead to acidosis. If the pH is more than 7.45 and the PaCO2 is less than 4.7 kPa, it is respiratory alkalosis. So the main key point here is that PaCO2 has an inverse relationship with pH. Now coming to step 5, determine the metabolic component, that is base excess or bicarbonate. If the pH is less than 7.35 and the bicarbonate is less than 22 millimole per liter, or the base excess is more than minus 2 millimole per liter, then it is metabolic acidosis. And if the pH is more than 7.45 and the bicarbonate is more than 26 millimole per liter, or base excess is greater than plus 2 millimole per liter, it is metabolic alkalosis. To remember the effect of these metabolic and respiratory components on the pH or arterial blood gas results, there is a mnemonic to remember these things. So metabolic component, remember same direction, because if pH is low and bicarbonate is also low, so both of these are low, then it is metabolic. And if pH is high and bicarbonate is also high, then it is metabolic alkalosis, right? And as I discussed that carbon dioxide partial pressure has an inverse relationship or reverse relationship with pH. So when pH is low and carbon dioxide is high, then this is respiratory acidosis. And when pH is high and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low, then this is respiratory alkalosis. Another important point to remember about ABG results, that it is possible for patients to have a mixed respiratory and metabolic alkalosis or acidosis if primary respiratory and primary metabolic disturbances exist simultaneously. If the two processes oppose each other, pH derangement will be minimized. However, two processes that cause pH to move in the same direction may lead to profound acidosis or alkalosis. Another important point is anion gap. Many people don't know what is anion gap. The anion gap is the difference between the measured positively charged cations, which include sodium and potassium, and the negatively charged anions, which are chloride and bicarbonate. How do we calculate the anion gap? For a patient with metabolic acidosis, calculating anion gap can be helpful. To calculate the anion gap is helpful because this can give some indication of the underlying cause of the acid-base imbalance. The following equation can be used to estimate the anion gap: sodium plus potassium minus chloride plus bicarbonate. An increased anion gap indicates excess acid from the anions that are unmeasured, for example ketones or lactate, which means that if anion gap is increased, it means that there are some extra anions such as ketones or lactate in the blood which are causing this increased anion gap. However, if plasma albumin is low because of any reason, it also lowers the anion gap. And if there is some problem with phosphate level in the blood, it can also affect the anion gap to a lesser extent. So when calculating anion gap, consider these factors as well. So guys, this is the end of part 1. I hope it was not a dry subject. I hope it was easy to understand. In part 2 of this video, I will discuss how to recognize a partial versus fully compensated metabolic derangement. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Like and share this video if you found it helpful. And thank you again for watching this video. Bye and see you soon.